Lesson 13. Plan to assassinate the Prophet. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahumma akhrijna min zulumatil wahm wa akrimna binuril fahm. Allahumma aftah alayna abwaba rahmatik wanshur alayna khazaina ulumik birahmatika ya arhamar rahimin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Welcome to Lesson 13, Plan to Assassinate the Prophet of Module 2 on the prophetic period in Mecca of the course on Sirah to Nabi. In the previous lesson, we dealt with the second pledge of Aqaba. When the Makkans learned that Islam had struck roots in Yathrīb due to the first and the second Pact of Aqaba and was fast spreading there, their animosity knew no bounds. Their chiefs such as Abu Jahl, Abu Lahab, Abū Sufyān, and Utbah gathered at al-Nadwā, and after rejecting suggestions to imprison or banish the Prophet, they planned to assassinate him. The Quran says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, وَإِذْ يَمْكُرُ بِكَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لِيُثْبِتُوكَ أَوْ يَقْتُلُوكَ أَوْ يُخْرِجُوكَ وَيَمْكُرُونَ وَيَمْكُرُ اللَّهُ وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الْمَاكِرِينَ. And remember, when the unbelievers plotted against you to imprison you, or to kill you, or to drive you out, they plotted and planned, and Allah too planned. In order to escape the vendetta of Bani Hashim, it was decided that every clan should provide one man, and that they should collectively assault the Prophet as soon as he came out of his house during that night. But God had apprised his Prophet of this plan well in advance, and he informed Ali of it, ordering him to sleep in his bed. The Holy Prophet covered Ali with his own green sheet. When Ali heard that his life was to be the ransom for the Holy Prophets, he at once prostrated before Allah to thank him for this unique honor. It was the first sajda of shukr, or a prostration of gratitude in Islam. Thus, Ali slept soundly on the Holy Prophet's bed as the Prophet walked out of the house under the infidels' very noses. Coming out of the house, he recited the first few verses of the Surah Yasin and threw a handful of dust over their heads. None of the enemies saw him going out. The Holy Prophet had also ordered Ali to return the things which people had entrusted to him to their respective owners. It is to be noted that the Prophet had been known as Al-Amin and As-Sadiq, the trustworthy and the truthful. And in spite of his belief, people still used to entrust their properties to him. In modern day parlance, he was serving as a bank for some people. The polytheists of the Qurayshite clans all the time thought that it was the Prophet who was sleeping and were anxiously waiting to kill him. According to Usdul Ghaba of Ibn Athir al-Jazari, Ihya Ulumuddin of Abu Hamid Muhammad al-Ghazali, and Tarikhul Khamis of Qadi Hussein al-Diyar Bakri, when the Prophet was on his way to Medina, God revealed to him the following verse in praise of Ali. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَن يَشْرِي نَفْسَهُ ابْتِغَاءَ مَرْضَاتِ اللَّهِ وَاللَّهُ رَءُوفٌ بِالْعِبَادِ. And among men, there is one who sells his life seeking the pleasure of Allah, and Allah is most benevolent of his slaves. The Holy Prophet went to the mountain of Thawr accompanied by Abu Bakr and hid in a cave near its summit. This place is about 5 miles from Mecca. At dawn, the infidels entered the house. They were flabbergasted upon finding Ali in the bed instead of the Holy Prophet. At once, they started looking for him, tracking him right up to the mouth of the cave. Still, they never thought of looking into the cave. Why? As soon as the fugitives entered the cave, a spider wove cobweb at the entrance, and a pair of pigeons built their nest at the mouth of the very cave in the darkness of the night and laid eggs at once. It was that cobweb and the nest with the eggs that made the bloodthirsty enemies believe that Muhammad could not be in that cave. Otherwise, the cobweb would have been destroyed and the nest and the eggs broken. It was at this moment that they got so near to the cave that Abu Bakr started weeping, being afraid of the possible discovery. But the Prophet consoled him, saying, "Grieve not, surely Allah is with us. La takhzan, inna Allaha ma'ana." They left Mecca on the first night of Rabiul Awwal, reaching the cave of Thawr before dawn and remaining therein up to the 4th of Rabiul Awwal. As you can see, they remained there for a few days in order not to be apprehended by those who were chasing them. On the 5th, they started their journey to Medina. At the time, it was known as Yathrīb. Abdullah ibn Urayqit al-Daylami was hired to show them the way. Journeying by unfrequented roads, they safely reached Quba, that is 2 miles south of Yathrīb, on the 8th of Rabiul Awwal. There, the Holy Prophet laid the foundation of the Mosque of Quba, which has been mentioned in the Quran as the mosque founded on piety, Masjidut Taqwa. After a few days, Ali joined them there and they proceeded to Yathrīb, entering it on Friday the 16th of Rabiul Awwal with a group of followers who had come from Yathrīb to welcome the Holy Prophet. As we can observe, the actual migration of the Prophet from Mecca to Medina did not happen on Muharram, but rather on Rabiul Awwal, that is the 3rd month of the lunar calendar. This was the hijrah from which dates the Islamic calendar. Which dates the Islamic calendar? That is the Hijri year. Next meeting, we will deal with the analysis of the persecution that the Prophet and the early Muslims experienced in Mecca, inshallah. For more similar lessons, subscribe to Wayfaring with Mansoor channel. Thank you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.